Top 7 Conspiracy Theories and Why They Make Sense to Some. Conspiracy theories have been talked about for the longest time and have become even more popular with the information sources we have at our disposal. If you think about it, it's actually pretty fun to talk about things and to question the validity of information that is available to us. While some people may find talking about it uncomfortable, there are some that will happily indulge and jump to all kinds of conclusions when it comes to different theories from around the world. Some may go far, and there are some that are difficult to disprove. And there are some that sound so ridiculous that it actually, weirdly in a way, makes sense. And wait till you see what number 1 on our list is. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe and click on the notification bell to get updated with our videos. Hello YouTubers. Today, we'll be talking about top 7 conspiracy theories and why they make sense to some. Starting off our list at number 7 is the infamous accident of Princess Diana on August 31, 1997. It is definitely one of the most shocking events in human history. It is similar to the death of US President John F. Kennedy, that such a beloved figure who was immensely popular around the world could just go in the blink of an eye, most especially for a royal figure such as Princess Diana. People of royalty pass away due to old age or a recurring sickness or eating too much food. Royalty do not often get into car accidents. It remains one of history's most devastating accidents, but was it really an accident? Conspiracy theorists love to argue that it wasn't, that Princess Diana's death is the result of the political climate of that time. There are many popular theories in relation to her death. One of those involves Mohammed Al-Fayed. Mohammed Al-Fayed is the father of Dadi Al-Fayed, who died alongside Princess Diana inside the car. Al-Fayed has claimed that it was not an accident, but rather an assassination that was orchestrated by British intelligence agencies with the backing of the royal family. Why would the royal family want her assassinated? Mohammed Al-Fayed said that Diana was pregnant with his son's child, and that the idea was incredibly obscene for the British state and measures had to be taken. Fayed claimed that there was no way that the monarchy would accept an Egyptian Muslim to be the stepfather of the future king, so they had her killed. A potential pregnancy was speculated in the British media, especially when Princess Diana herself said mysterious comments about a big surprise. During post-mortem, however, it was revealed that there was no sign of pregnancy in Princess Diana's body, debunking the theory. However, hardcore theorists suggest that the information that was released has been censored and that only the royal family know the truth, which leaves us wondering on whether or not she was really assassinated. Next, at number 6, we have the assassination of John F. Kennedy. John F. Kennedy, JFK for short, was one of the most well-respected and known figures in the entire world. He is arguably one of the most popular presidents in the history of the US and the world. The whole world felt a shockwave on November 22, 1963 when JFK was fatally shot in the head on a car in Dallas, accompanied by his wife, Jackie Kennedy. It is one of the most heartbreaking and surreal moments in history, as people could not fathom how such a heinous act could befall on the beloved JFK. You can imagine the conspiracy theories were flying everywhere with all sorts of speculation onto why JFK was murdered. We all know that it was Lee Harvey Oswald who committed the crime, and he acted alone. But some conspiracy theorists beg to differ and would have us believe that there is more to the story than that. One of the most infamous theories is that it was an inside job, handled by the US government. Sounds like a horror show, doesn't it? A bone-chilling theory that the government that JFK was leading was responsible for his dramatic end. Bobby Kennedy believed that there was a rogue element in the CIA that eventually led to his brother's assassination. After meeting with CIA Director John McCone, Bobby Kennedy quickly dismissed these assumptions. But the public was harder to convince, of course, much less conspiracy theorists, who are hell-bent on proving to the world that they are right. Given the mysterious and secretive nature of the CIA, it is understandable that one can question their involvement in the whole situation. It is suggested due to the president's stance on communism and the Bay of Pigs invasion, the CIA held resentment for JFK, and there was a lot of animosity present between former US president and the higher figures of the CIA. The CIA, of course, denies this entirely, and they claim while it makes sense for an interesting plot for movies, it just doesn't correspond with what happened in real life. Still, given the political nature of the events, can anyone be absolutely sure what happened? At number 5, we have something that is arguably the biggest national tragedy to hit the US since JFK was murdered, which makes it very fitting that it succeeds the JFK assassination on this list. On September 11, 2001, 2 planes hijacked by terrorists crashed into the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center. The US, seen as the invincible powerhouse of the world, was attacked. At least that's how the government wants it to be seen. Given the confusing evidence in the relation to the event, numerous theories have popped up regarding the nature of the so-called terrorist strike. The video evidence leaves a lot to speculation, as the way the 2 towers fell down and crumbled was near perfect and synchronized, which leads conspiracy theorists to believe that the 2 towers did not fall due to the plane crash, but rather it was an inside demolition job. It isn't the first time we've heard of the US government hiding their potential involvement from the public. Theorists believe that no plane crash could cause the buildings to fall and collapse so perfectly to their own footprint. Speculation got even wilder as some witnesses claimed that they heard explosions at the building even before the towers collapsed. Even if the official report claims that the buildings fell down due to the severe structural damage caused by the planes and resulting in fires, theorists suggest that the fire was not long enough, 56 minutes, to cause that much damage. Why would the US sabotage their own building and cover it up to blame another country? Maybe it had something to do with them waging a war to exhaust a certain country of its certain natural resources. Obviously, they're just theories and speculation. Do you think it's true or too far-fetched? You be the judge. Halfway on our list with number 4, we have the disappearance of Jimmy Hoffa. Jimmy Hoffa was a union labor leader who was widely known for devoting his life to workers' rights. Starting his career in Detroit, he made his way up the International Brotherhood of Teamsters, the most powerful union at the time. He found success at the Teamsters Union as he was eventually elected as their president. What people didn't know at the time was that he had ties to the mafia. He was making deals with the local mob, and he eventually got caught up. After being released from prison, he disappeared at a restaurant in Detroit. Naturally, people assumed that he was taken out by the mafia, but Jimmy Hoffa's body was never found. Conspiracy theorists think that it was the Teamsters responsible for his disappearance. The scandal and illegal dealings left a bitter taste in their mouths, as they were left to deal with the public outrage as well as a black stain on their reputation. Therefore, they did not want him as their president again and made sure he was out of the picture. After 7 long years of speculation, he was declared dead, and to this day, his body has not been found, and nobody knows what happened to him. There are numerous theories around, suggesting he's been buried in places like the Giants Stadium in New Jersey. That, however, like his disappearance, remains a mystery. At number 3, we have one of the most popular conspiracy theories of all time, which is the Apollo 11 moon landing hoax. The moon landing was a historical event, not just for the US, but for the whole world. For the first time in recorded human history, a man set foot on the moon. It is considered one of the most greatest achievements in human history, and of course, to no one's surprise, it has been allegedly deemed a hoax by conspiracy theorists out there. How did it all start? Well, in 1978, a film called Capricorn was released. The plot of the film involves NASA and its astronauts faking a Mars landing. The film is considered mediocre, but it gave birth to some interesting ideas. There was a television program released by Fox called Conspiracy Theory: Did We Land on the Moon?, which explained in detail the many discrepancies regarding the famous moon landing. It showed pictures of the moon landing, contrasting with the story of the official moon landing. Why would the US fake the moon landing? If you guys remember your history, there was a massive space race going on between the United States of America and the Soviet Union of Russia. Throughout the years, the two countries with their prominent space programs had been going head-to-head and were desperate to prove who had the superior program. Some theorists would have you believe that the actual moon landing was staged and shot on video for it to mimic people landing on the moon. They say that the legendary Stanley Kubrick is the one who directed the apparent hoax, due to the fact that a year prior, he directed 2001: A Space Odyssey. People think this theory isn't likely because it's a well-known fact that several space explorations involving landing on the moon have been launched successfully since the Apollo 11 space mission. Or is that what they want you to believe? At number 2, we have the ever-popular TV show, The Simpsons. The Simpsons is the longest-running TV show in history. It's hard to imagine a time when there will be no more new Simpsons episodes making their way to our televisions. The show also has gathered a certain reputation, which has got conspiracy theorists losing their minds. They claim that The Simpsons have accurately foreshadowed and predicted real events would eventually. To name a few, The Simpsons have successfully predicted the following: Donald Trump being elected president, the use of smartwatches, the Ebola virus, Disney purchasing 20th Century Fox, Lady Gaga performing at the Super Bowl halftime show. They even predicted what Daenerys Targaryen does to King's Landing on the final season of Game of Thrones. These are just a handful of predictions that have been foreshadowed in the popular animated TV series. The creators of the show have debunked this theory, as they have stated that the show has been running for over 30 years. It is inevitable that something present in the show eventually happened in real life. But it is just pure coincidence, nothing more than that. Maybe they're right, and it's all indeed a coincidence. Or maybe they know something they're not telling us. And capping off our list at number 1 is what we feel the most popular conspiracy theory there is. The Beatles are without a shadow of a doubt the greatest music group in the history of humanity. It's not an opinion, it's a fact. They were absolutely untouchable in the 60s, and to this very day, you will have a hard time finding someone who hasn't heard of the Beatles. Apparently, fame and fortune come at a very steep price. Back in the day, there was a rumor that Paul McCartney died in 1966. The band, in fear of losing their momentum, decided to cover it up and hire a Paul McCartney lookalike so they could continue with their musical endeavors. The remaining members of the Beatles felt they owed it to their fans to tell them the truth. So, on their subsequent albums, they placed clues all over hinting at what happened to the real Maka. To give you a good picture, on the cover of their studio album called Abbey Road, which holds a famous picture of the 4 of them walking in a straight line, side by side, you can notice some strange detail. You can notice that Paul McCartney is the only one barefoot, and he seems to be out of step with the group. Or on their album Magical Mystery Tour, the band seems to be holding roses, all of which are red, except for one member, holding a black rose. And you guessed it, Paul McCartney. Fans have even gone as far as playing their songs backwards for hints of any backmasking that contains subliminal messages. And in the song Strawberry Fields Forever, John Lennon can be heard saying, "I buried Paul." Of course, the band and Paul McCartney himself have denied this. And the theory can't possibly be true, as nobody is as talented as the great Paul McCartney. Or the band just happened to have gotten a very good replacement. This so-called fake Paul did end up writing Hey Jude. Are you convinced that some of these theories are true? Which one stood out among the rest? Drop a comment below letting us know what you think. Also, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and click on the notification bell to get updated with our videos. Until next time, YouTubers, Morrongo TV. Motivation, inspiration, fun.